Variability, I guess, is probably one of the best terms to describe our crops out there around the countryside. Tom Hoffman, an agronomist and agronomy sales lead with Allied Cooperative. And Tom, is that an accurate way to talk about the crops variability this year?
Yeah, Bobby, you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, we have some of the western parts of our area here, and we have some well-drained soils and some timely planting. There's some crops that look very good. And, really off to a fantastic start. We have good soil moisture. We have some of the east here that, really have struggled to say the least. And there's some really tough situations. Still some planting going on. Obviously, our livestock producers are going to try to have to do whatever they can to make sure they have forage for their livestock. But, yeah, there really is quite variability within our trade area.
But with the crops we've got in there, and we do get a chance to get out and spray or inspect or whatever, don't waste time, because as we know, we get a sunny day or two and then all of a sudden Mother Nature steps in. What kind of recommendations are you giving the guys and the gals out there as far as spraying? Weeds aren't going to stop growing, fungicides on these crops as they mature. What's the recommendation right now, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, certainly don't. Weeds never stop growing. I mean, sometimes we'd like to think that they won't be there, but it's a constant battle every year and on every field. And obviously, weed pressure is higher or lower from some fields and farms. But nonetheless, pre-emergent herbicides in general have worked very, very well this year. But we've had very good moisture to activate those. Where excess moisture, where weeds are starting to escape because herbicides only have so much length, please recognize that if it needs another application, hit it. And there is a lot of planned two-pass application on some of this, and some of that has been done where the crop has been farther ahead, but certainly, plan to take care of that, and especially weeds like water hemp that are later germinating and have adapted to germinate late. Please don't ignore those particular weeds. You just have to stay diligent with weed control. Fungicides, I mean, we are hitting that time of the year where fungicides, soybeans are going to be flowering here. That's the time to be hitting with fungicides on soybeans. We're not all that far away from some of this early planted corn. It looks very nice. Tassel time won't be all that far away. So we do need to, where you have a very good crop, certainly, protect it and take care of it. Don't lose yield. There has been a couple of states that have diagnosed some tar spot already. We've talked about tar spot being a potentially devastating disease in corn, and are we going to have enough this year? Hard to say, but I mean, we do have situations that appear like we could, but nonetheless, be diligent with that and don't ignore that, because that could be quite devastating.
It really can, and of course, the insect situation. We talk about weeds, but insects. Have you heard any reports from the weevil and the alfalfa pretty much under control? What about army worms in the corn or anything else as we go forward? What are you hearing, Tom, or what are the guys talking about?
Yeah, so the weevils have been a battle since the start of spring, and even after we headed into that second cutting. I mean, obviously, some people that have done that have either cut and or treated, which was quite wise. I think our weevil pressure was as high almost everywhere as we've ever seen, and some people had weevils that have never really had weevils in some of the north central part of the state. But address those. Potato leaf hopper, we seem to get some of that every year. When we have good moisture, the pressure isn't quite normally as high, but obviously the alfalfa seems to tolerate it. But nonetheless, it doesn't take much potato leaf hopper pressure to justify a treatment there. So please take care of that. The army worms, where we have mild conditions, we haven't heard as much of that. But that doesn't mean that they're not around there. Where we have more residue than we've had in history's past, and we keep seeing cover crops, we just seem to have recipes for moths to lay eggs and armyworms to be an issue. So that's one to be a constant be aware of, especially where there's additional vegetation, no-till, cover crops, and other residue.
And if you feel overwhelmed by the cropping situation, don't hesitate to call your Allied Cooperative agronomists. They're ready, willing, and able to help, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of very good quality staff, many years of experience. We have access to, there's a lot of wonderful tools in crop production to help protect a crop and treat a crop. Certainly, plant food. Please feed your crop. All of us as humans need food. Your crops need food too to perform well. So, no, we have a lot of good people, facilities. Be more than happy to help anybody out and try to help your success.
And depending on the stage of your crops, access your agronomist at Allied Cooperative. They're there to help you. Go out in the fields with you and take a look. Tom Hoffman, Agronomy Sales Lead Agronomist. Tom, thanks for the update.
Hey, thank you, Bob.
Tom Hoffman with us from Allied Cooperative on our Allied Cooperative program this morning. I'm Bob Bosold.